Hi, welcome back to Alter My Closet. I'm Jennifer. How are you all doing? Well, I am trying to work through which video to do next. And I so want to do my alterations video, guys. Um, but I wanted to do it when I have more time because I wanted to kind of show what the um, garment that I find looks like. I wanted to show what it looks like first and then show what it looks like after. So that's going to take a little more time. So bear with me because I do want to do that, like I said, because I want to, have a little more, like choice in clothes to wear. And then I also wanted to finish up with, just showing the basics with the sewing aspect. So, yeah, I'm just trying to work through which one to do first. So, it's later than I would want it to be. I wanted to start a little bit early with this video. So, I'm going to do as much as I can now. But, yeah, bear with me, like I said. This is one of the outfit that I did find and showed the other day in one of the videos. So, this is that hoodie top with the string in the waist. And I was saying this top has become one of my favorite because it feels comfortable. It's you can dress it up. In that video I did dress it up with the leggings here and some boots that I showed in that video. But yeah, just an idea. So I was thinking about this guy that my daughter was showing me, a Jamaican, and he's an educator because I started after she showed me his like initial video. I started it just started popping up with more videos of him. Very nice gentleman, very funny. I just think he's got a lot to offer. But one of his videos, he was saying that he's got, and what Jamaicans say, a bone. I don't know if, in other cultures they use that. He's got a bone, kind of like to pick with Jamaicans, but he didn't say it in those words, but it's kind of like, what that means. He's picking on Jamaicans pretty much. And he was just saying that Jamaicans, they lose their culture, when they go to other countries. And I was thinking, me personally, if I did, I believe I did lose some of the culture. But, they have a saying, it's like you go to Rome, you do what the Romans do, So, for me, I think I've lost some of the culture, yeah. Only because I am not around a lot of Jamaicans right now. Where I live, I'm not around a lot of Jamaicans, and I'm not around a lot of family members either. But I do find myself, like when I'm around my culture, I'll pick back up on it, and it just cracks me up. But I do get a lot of, where are you from? When I speak, and I guess some people cannot detect the accent because I've lived in New York, I've lived in Atlanta, and now I'm living in Tennessee. And, so it's like I've been around so many different cultures that, yeah, it's like I adapt certain things, and just based on upbringing, being in different countries and environment is a part of your upbringing. So naturally, for me, I believe that you do lose some of, your original culture as you're growing, because even in your 20s, 30s, you're still growing and you adapt to certain things, but also you adapt to certain things because you want to be understood, because if I was to speak my dialect, people would not understand what I'm saying pretty much. They'd be asking me, huh? So I try to adapt so I can communicate and be understood. So, yeah, I just had to think back and say, is it such a bad thing to lose your culture? I still have in me what I learned, before I came, to the States. But you're, you know, more or less going to find the new things that I learned, along the way. So, but he's a cool guy, very funny guy, And then again, in Jamaica we speak broken English more so, but we do learn English as our first language in that country, and so we do learn it, and that I believe is an international language. So in order for, like I said, for me to be understood where I go, I try to speak better, not better, but I try to speak the language so I can be understood. But, there are times when, I speak the dialect and, yeah, it sounds weird, it sounds funny, and, I have to laugh when I hear it because sometimes it's like, even though I'm from Jamaica, you may find some people speak and I, don't understand, because in different countries, wherever you go, you'll find the different accents depending on where in the country you are, raised up. So, yes, it's like the same thing, with Jamaica, and some accent are just so heavy that you cannot understand or have difficulty understanding some of it, and some are kind of smooth sailing. So you'll find what they call Kingstonians, born and raised in Kingston. Their accent is completely different from someone who was born and raised in, let's say, Montego Bay, St. James, or in the Grill or Westmoreland. You find the different accents, So, yeah, the culture is a very unique thing. But I just thought I'd share that. And, yeah. But anyway, I am going to finish up with the sewing machine. And last thing I touched on was the different parts of the sewing machine. So I'm going to go ahead and show how to string the sewing machine. And let's see where we get with that. So on this particular machine, they show you how to fill the bobbin with thread. So they have a diagram on top here, which is the metal piece first, and then you come around with your thread. On the bobbin itself, there's a hole, which I find sometimes to just be, for me, kind of hard to, put the thread through, sometimes because of lighting, sometimes because of, not wearing my glasses or whatever. But there's a hack that I usually do. I just hold the end of the thread and just wrap it around. And then place it on top of this metal piece and push it back here. so it snaps in place. Okay, then from there you want to when you do this, you know, your needle here will not move. If it, you know, starts moving, you're likely to, you know, break your needle. So once this is you know, pushed back in its place to start filling the bobbin, then you're good to go. All right, so let's see. All right, so you can see the bobbin here spins. All right, and so that's pretty much how the bobbin is filled. So I'm going to release that by pushing it to the left. To fill it, you push it to the right. Okay, remove your thread. Where is my scissors? I'm gonna go ahead and cut my thread here. And here at the bottom is where we're going to insert our bobbin thread. So we put it there, bring it around, and it shows you on the diagram here. You bring it around here. Okay. Then the next thing we're going to do is to string our machine. So here is one. You've got two back here, this metal piece right here. You've got three coming down in the front and around, and you want to make sure you're pulling it so it has a tension under there. Okay, so 4 coming up, then 5 is this piece right here. So to get this up, if it's down inside the machine, you want to roll your hand wheel here forward. All right, so when that comes up, you go ahead and you pull your thread through this hole right here. Then you want to bring it back down. And then 6 is this metal piece right here. All right, and then one more piece is this right here where the needle is. And pull that forward. Making sure the lighting is okay for you guys. All right, so on my machine here, this piece that I'm pulling on down, that's the to help with stringing the needle, but mine doesn't seem to be working for some crazy reason. I'm gonna try one more time, because on one video I saw where you put the thread over that metal piece, and I was thinking it goes under the metal piece. So let's see. So there's a little teeth in the back part of this piece right here that strings your needle for you. But yeah, like I said, mine doesn't seem to be working. It was working, but I think it probably got loose some kind of way, so it's not working right now. Let me try one more time and see if it will pull it. So no, it did not. And so I'm going to have to strain my eyes. So bear with me to try to get that needle strong. But if that works, this little metal piece here, that would be a great thing. Trying to see. It's this piece right here under the you know, where the needle is. But either way, you know, you'll see the diagram right here too on the front of your machine. It will show you how to string it. So like I was saying, this is a pretty friendly machine because it has the diagrams. And I do believe, you know, that's how they're making the machines these days, to where, you know, the diagrams are on there, so you have some knowledge of what to do. All right, so after doing stringing your needle, you always want to make sure you have enough thread, so when you start sewing, your thread won't break inside your machine, so you'll have enough, you know, thread to start your project. What I like to do is to go ahead and pull my bobbin thread through. I believe you don't have to, but I like to do that. So let's see if that works. So let's see. Oops. And you always want to make sure your bobbin thread is not caught down in here, you know, and break, because that will give you some problems. So let me try that again. Cut that. But I don't like to leave the machine by chance, you know, for it to do its thing. So I like to get my bobbin thread, like I said, up and out. I like to see it. All right, so I pull on there. And like I said, that's just for me. I like to have both my threads, just in case something happens and, you know, this breaks down in there, in between where the teeth is. You know, I think they call this a dog feed, right? You know, I just don't want any mishaps. So I like to pull them both through and put them behind my presser foot, and then put my cover back on. So I push that there and close that, and then I put my drawer back in its place. And I believe I am good to go with starting my project. All right, so that was the basic stringing of the machine. And hopefully for our next project, you guys will be good and ready to go with stringing your machine, getting it all set up so we can start on doing our project. Yeah, I'm trying to, like I said, figure out whether I should do the alterations first, or do another project that I have in mind, just to show you how to get started with being comfortable on, you know, using your sewing machine. So drop it in the comments and let me know, guys, which one you'd want to see first. You know, but that would kind of give me some idea. All right, but thanks for joining me. You know, we'll see how this plays out. All right, you'll see me on the next video. Bye.